Welcome back, Warriors. We're still doing this virtually for a little while, but kids are back on the field and we're getting ready to roll. So I think it's a good start. Um, we'll cross our fingers and say our prayers, our hands, and hope that it lasts for a while. I know our comp cheer has started, our soccer has started. So be smart, be flexible, and a warrior always adapts. So we'll make it through this. I'm not going to be able to go into detail on everything like I've done. We got a lot more information to go through this year with all of our COVID. So if I miss something or you guys have questions, email me, text me, call me. Very understandable. We got a lot of things going on. Okay, just so you're kind of aware of who the people are we're going to be contacting, these are our coaches for the fall season. High school football, Jordan Huska, Dane Stone, Craig Jorgensen, Austin Steckler, and Jacob Haber. Middle school football, Scott Hedrick, Ryan Koima, Dylan Lindgren. High school volleyball, Erica Furzdahl, Ashton Zanusa, Dylan Dahl. Middle school volleyball, Julie Barber, Christine Feist. Boys golf, me, Shannon Shaden. Competition cheer, Reagan Ryan, Connor Bolsher. Cross country, Jeff Crum and Steve Hagee. And soccer, which we do in co-op with Garrison, is Amber Williamson and Carly Shock. As I said, each of those coaches are going to get in touch with you for your individual sports meetings. It could be a Big Sioux meeting thing. It could be a Castify. It could be an email. But they'll send specific information out to you. All right. The first thing I want to start with then, what's on everybody's mind is general COVID precautions that our school is taking or looking at taking. And just got to tell you, there's no way that we can be 100% up to date, because I might tell you something today, and 2 weeks from now when we actually have a game, it could be different. So just keep your ears open and ask a lot of questions. I'm just going to go through some basic precautions that our school board and our superintendent and I have gotten together and we've talked about. Again, more specific changes for each sport will come to you. I met with every fall sport coach and we went through the activity association changes and the things we're going to do for each sport. So those coaches will let you know those specifics. First thing I want to talk about is we have a tiered system for activities. And basically tier 1 means we're wide open. People can come to games. We're just going to have some basic precautions. And tier 4 means no fans. We're probably going to start shutting things down. So that tier is going to be determined by COVID activity, also by our opponents, the towns that are coming into Bell Rapids, what level they're at, and just amount of virus and cases and things that are going on. So that's how that will be determined. Masks, you're going to need to get one just to be safe. You know, our kids are going to have to pretty much wear them in school when they can't social distance. And that's going to be the same in our gymnasiums. So it's going to depend if you're inside or outside for games. It's going to depend on if you go over to Lenox to a game. So you're just don't show up at a game thinking, well, I don't have to wear a mask here because we don't have to in Dell. That's not going to be the case. You're just going to have to, like I said, be flexible. And you're going to pay attention to our website. Big Sioux Media will cover some of this, I'm sure. Facebook pages on where we're at as far as fan attendance and masks and all of those sorts of things. So just be aware as far as attendance to games for fans and masks. You gotta pay attention week to week, even game to game, because that could change. Okay. One thing that you got to know from the beginning, football games, no elementary kids will be allowed without their parents, and those elementary kids need to be seated with their parents in the stands. All middle school and high school students must be seated in the stands. So that's a change right from the beginning. We play on August 28th against Lennox, and there will be signs, and we'll put it out there more to help spread the word on on the young kids running on the hills and being out and about. That is not going to happen. Okay. Also, concession stands. There's going to be some changes there. Going to be roped off. Going to be limited. We'll have some windows. A big one here is transportation. This one's huge. Kids have to have masks on school transportation. There's going to be sanitizer for them. We're allowing one kid per seat, and parents can drive the kids, your athletes, to games and home. Your coaches are going to talk to you more about their specific limitations with that. In the past, anybody who called me to ask that question, whether they could do that, I a lot of times said, no, we just don't do it. This year, it's a different deal. So we are going to say yes. You can take them, but make sure you contact your coach. Okay. Screening is going to happen every day before practices and before games with our athletes. And if they have symptoms that are explainable, like they really have a stomach ache, and coaches are going to ask, okay, well, did your mom make a new recipe last night of chili and it wasn't very good and everybody's sick in your house? Well, that's explainable. Allergies, explainable. In those cases, coaches are going to allow students to practice, athletes to practice. When it's not explainable, then it's going to come to me. I'm going to be contacting you, and there's a protocol that we will follow on how we're going to proceed, whether or not, but they will not practice that day in most cases. If there's a kid who has a positive coronavirus test, there's a protocol for quarantine and symptoms and a return to play and medical professionals that you'll be made aware of. I'm not going to go into all of those specifics because it's pretty in depth. Okay, just know that we're screening kids. Okay, practice or game exposure. I talked to all the coaches, every one of them. I told them, let's limit exposure 10 to 20%. Let's shorten practices. Let's take a day off of practice. Let's lessen how much time your group of 50 kids is together. And so it's not completely going away, but you're going to notice a little bit less exposure on practice. Sanitizer, we're going to have hand sanitizer there. Coaches are going to be helping to clean equipment, touch areas, things like that. Schedule changes, things like tournaments and jamborees where we go away and there's a lot of people, a lot of teams. There's a very good chance we're not going to do that. The only way we're going to do that is if we're comfortable with the measures that host is taking, COVID-wise, and our kids are safe. It's kind of like when we host a cross country meet. We're gonna take measures to limit how many we have at the starting line, limit how many are finishing up, how many teams we got, things like that. So just know that there will be some schedule changes. That'll be pretty fluid. It's not anything we know for sure right now. Locker room use. We're basically saying on away games, we really don't want to go to West Central or Millbank or wherever and use their locker rooms. So we are going to go dressed as much as we possibly can so that we don't have to dress once we get there and go into a locker room that's been occupied by PE kids all day in another school. Likewise, we're not going to be real excited about letting any teams use our locker rooms on a Friday night or stuff like that. Obviously, for a volleyball game, we might have to do that. There's going to be limits on some of that. Also, for our own kids in our own locker rooms, get in and get out. Do not hang around in that locker room. They should be in there 3, 4, 5 minutes, change and get out. If they don't have to use it, don't use it. Some of those locker rooms, we've got 50 kids in a locker room. If they're all in there at the same time, that is not what we want. So we will be monitoring that and trying to do the best we can to get kids in and out of there. Water bottles, everybody needs their own. There's not going to be a shared water bottle thing or a jug. They got to fill it on their own and take care of their own. That's kind of a quick hit of the general COVID precautions. I'm sure I'm missing something. There'll be more out there. The big thing is that fan attendance piece. Like I said, if we go to a tier 2, do not be surprised if each kid gets 4 passes or 2 passes, and we limit it to those people, and you got to have one of those passes. Those kids will decide who gets it. And maybe we'll limit it to 50 students sign up in the office. Those things are a little bit yet to be determined, but those are the directions we're going for tier 2 and tier 3, things like that. So just be aware of that. As I said before, individual sports meetings are going to happen. You should be getting emails, notifications, clicking on Big Stu Media for those within the next 3, 4, 5 days. Like I said, football practice starts on Monday. Cross country volleyball next Thursday, and comp cheer already started. Sideline cheer is going to get rolling. And boys golf's on Monday, also the 10th. So everything's rolling here. I want to talk about some standard things now that are just regulars. I'll get through those quick. Sports registration and paperwork. Due to COVID, financial stresses on the medical field, physicals. You need a full doctor physical and the form for that if you're a 7th grader. If you're new to sports, never played, never taken sports physical, or if you have a sports physical that is 2017 or older, that's no longer valid. Those forms are on our website, dr-k12.org. Departments, athletics, activities, you can find it there. Okay, the other thing you're going to find there is you're going to find Family ID, a little blue link. You click that, that is going to be all of the other forms. Physicals are an actual hard copy that you have to turn in to Eve, maybe Connie, but they got to end up to Jordan Huska, who takes care of those now. Everything else for athletics is on this Family ID. So what you got to do is you got to go there, read through it all, fill it all out, and submit your signatures. And that pops into a little document for Coach Huska, and he lets Coach know if they're registered and legal, they're ready to go. Your child will not be able to participate without that physical. So whether it's an interim physical, and again, I might not, but the interim physical is for everybody other than 7th grade, new, and those 2002. So 8th, 9th, 10th, interim physicals that parents can fill out. Everything else on Family ID, including our code of conduct, which is like our training rules. Know that for that code of conduct, there's an athletic one, and there's one that looks really close to it. That's an academic one from Mr. Bunkers from the high school. And that's going to be in a little different spot than the athletic registration. Okay, so that's the paperwork. Other significant rules, changes, information, schedules. You'll find those on our website. I think they're pretty much done. I think I've seen most of them on there. Otherwise, your coaches are going to send those out. Live streaming. With all the concerns that we have, we want to make sure we live stream as much as we can so people can watch without maybe if they feel a little bit nervous about coming to games. Big Media is the place to go. They're going to get you to where you need to go to watch the games. I've also installed this year a huddle focus camera. So on nights that Big Media can't be there, we're going to be able to live stream in a different way. But I think you can still go to Big Media and he'll have the link. So that's your one-stop shop to find our game. OI and our trainer, Cody Weingart. OI does a great job. He's going to be at all home games. Be at our school every day at 3 o'clock. Locks and lockers. Going to have to need a lock. just like we've done. $5 deposit, get them. Obviously, locked in and out quick. Eligibility, academic eligibility, high school every 4.5 weeks. We look at it. Middle school, it's weekly. Keep your grades up. Chain of communication. If you have an issue with a sport, um, first step, your athlete needs to meet with the coach. That isn't resolved, then the parent can meet with the coach. Still not resolved, the AD can meet with the parent. Still not resolved, it can go to the principal of the parent. So let's follow that chain. Social media is pretty simple. If it isn't a positive message, don't use it. There's no place for that in high school sports. I understand you live in a world where you pay $10 million to play baseball. You might have to put up a little bit of social media. I don't agree with it. There's no place for that in high school sports, whether it's about a coach or a kid or a strategy or anything like that. If anybody ever does that, I guess we'll probably have to have a conversation. They're just really, that's not what our kids need to see. Last year we made some changes on drug testing, vaping. Please make sure you check that out in our code of conduct. We've had some drug testing wording, vaping, paraphernalia, some of those sorts of things. So it's a little bit different. Sometimes new. Make sure you check that out. If you've been by the football field, if you haven't been, you need to go by and look. We got a new scoreboard, video board. I'm going to send a huge shout out to all of our sponsors. They're going to be up in size. We're going to roll things. We couldn't have done it without those guys in our booster. It's a cool looking board. I hope I can get it working by that first game. We don't have kids to run it or anything yet, but we'll get it plugged in and the score will please be on there. But it's going to be really cool. We're going to have video up there, we're going to have video on the inside. And I got to tell you, the coolest part about that, we had actual players put that sign up. LG Everest, who everybody needs to give a high five to Rob Everest and those guys at LG Everest. They came over, poured the concrete, dug the holes, put the beams up, and we had quarriers on the side screwing the bolts in. So a special thanks to Rob and LG Everest and Kevin and Nick and Cody and all those guys that came out. The warriors that put up the warrior sign. I think that's really cool. Okay. I'm about done here. I've got an announcement from Michelle Heiberger, the Dell Rapids Booster Club, who we've really partnered with on this video board and membership. And those guys are just awesome. We've had meetings, Zoom meetings, and real meetings, spaced out garages. So looks like a great group this year. I'm going to read an announcement from Michelle. Welcome back, Warrior Athletes. I'm so glad we are having this meeting. It is virtual, as it means we are actually having a fall sports season. The Dell Rapids Booster Club has 3 couples who joined the Booster Club before. Those couples are Mike and Susan Sterud, Jared and Megan Hall, and Kurt and Becky Keppel. The Booster Club would like to thank the outgoing couples who served for 3 years on the board. They are Brian and Melissa Bailey, Greg and Christy Lee, and Brad and Tracy Price. We greatly appreciate all you did for the Booster Club and Dell Rapids athletes, and they did a lot. Those 3 couples were great. Each year, the Booster Club president has the opportunity to talk to you about Booster Club accomplishments. This year, I get to tell you about a huge accomplishment that was completed 2 weeks ago. I ruined her thunder. Sorry. Okay. If you have been by the football field, you should have noticed the old scoreboard has been replaced. New video scoreboard. In addition, there are new scoreboard video board in the high school gym. When you look at the scoreboard, you'll see multiple businesses and individuals. You'll also see businesses on the display screen during games. These businesses donated funds and or time to Dell Rapids Athletics for the purchase of these scoreboards. Please thank the businesses, thank the individuals for their support. On behalf of the Booster Club, I would like to also thank all businesses and individuals who provided donations for the scoreboards. Your generosity and support for athletics is greatly appreciated. You bet it is. And once you see them, go spend money at those places. They're great. They're awesome. The Booster Club wants you to know that Warrior Wear is available for your purchasing at trboosterclub.com. Do have face masks available if you're interested. All merchandise purchase will be available by homecoming. And so since you're going to need a mask, go there and buy one. That's me. No. The Booster Club will be hosting a tailgate on August 28th for that home football game against Lennox. Tailgate starts at 5 p.m. Hope to see you there. What is that? 3 weeks away. It's going to be here quick. The Booster Club wishes you the best of luck this season. Go Warriors. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, that wraps it up. I'm sure I'm missing stuff because there's a lot of moving pieces this year. I just want to remind everybody, be smart, be safe, and be flexible. Thank you. Go Warriors.